Good day or good evening, whatever be your timing. Leagues 2 Trailblazer has arrived to Old School Runescape, and I'd like to welcome you to an amateur's update of Leagues 2. I'm a casual player of Old School Runescape, and if you are too, maybe give this a like. Let's go back to how it all began, from the 28th of October. First up, upon entering a very full world, I had to create a brand new character. Pink hair, black attire was how I was feeling. Once complete, a tutorial for Leagues appeared. Upon clicking the quest icon, then Leagues icon, I earned my first 10 points. I continued through to the areas window. This allowed me to unlock Karamja, which followed with a pretty animation and an intense noise in the ears. Following this, it was time to pick my first relic, and was it a tricky decision for me. I was stuck between Production Master and Skilling Prodigy. I studied the tasks and went with Skilling Prodigy in the end, hoping I'd made the right choice. In which the tutorial was over and I was awarded with my next 10 points. Beginning this adventure, I started punching a goblin to death, then realised I had a fair few weapons in my inventory. I equipped a sword and shield, and welcomed 10 more points for my first level up. And once defeating said goblin, a further 10 points was awarded. I paid my respects to the goblin by burying the bones. Another task completed, with 10 more points. I thought I'd get chopping for logs. It's like a competition on who strikes the tree down first. Once I gathered my first logs, a task was complete. 10 more points were added to the kitty. The pyro inside was itching to light them, and would you believe it? Another 10 points. That was my first 5 levels, so another 10 points was awarded. I carried on woodcutting, achieving my first level 10 skill, 10 points. Following gathering oak logs, I burnt them, and again, 10 more points. Next I went cow beating to build up a food supply and get some levels in the process. I decided I'd kill cows until I reached level 10 in attack, strength and defence, and whatever level I can get in ranged and magic with the supplies I had. And of course I needed to cook beef to keep me alive, as no one wants to die by a cow. I received 10 points for cooking it, another 10 points for burning a piece, and a further 10 points for successfully cooking 5 pieces of beef. I continued the massacre to achieve a combat level of 10, with 10 more points awarded. Getting the 10s, I started fletching arrow shafts, 10 points. Looking back through the footage, I have no idea where I missed 10 points from, but I did, but I will take them. While chopping oak trees, I found a bird's nest, 10 points. And then as I got carried away fletching arrow shafts, I got my first level 30 with a whopping 50 points added. Saw a task of opening 28 coin pouches at once, so I got to pickpocketing a poor man outside Lumbridge Castle, 10 points. I had to do the quest Chef's Assistant to use the range. Flour, egg and milk was all that was needed, nice and easy. Now I can cook as much as I like. 10 points. I had to battle to steal a cup of tea. It made me second question if I could even steal them yet, but finally I did. 10 points. I decided to go back to Draenor and climb the roofs. For 10 points, that is. On my way back I started the sheep shearer's quest, as he wants 20 balls of wool from me. Snip and repeat, spin into balls, collect 10 points, and finish the quest and receive 10 more points. Following on this point collecting streak, I entered Draenor Manor for a further 10 points. Cheeky stop off at Varrock to pet a stray dog. Then a teleport home furthered the points. Next up I visited the Duke to start Rune Mysteries quest. Nothing like a little back and forth from the Wizard's Tower to Varrock, but called 10 points. I popped to the museum to do a little quiz. I got 10 points for completing it. Then, as I received 5000 XP in Slayer and Hunter, I got a further 10 points for reaching a total level of 250. Then I got Aubrey to teleport me to the Essence Mine. Decided before I start mining Essence, I want level 30 mining, so I mine the pure stuff. 10 points for mining copper. 10 points for obtaining a gem while mining. 10 points for smelting a bronze bar. I got some iron ore and smelted that into ingots, and got a further 10 points. I thought I'd mix it up coming to the end of the day and do a spot of fishing. 10 points for catching a shrimp, 10 points for catching an anchovy, and 10 points for cooking a shrimp. Then finally I picked a lock with my bare hands and pickpocketed a hand member for 10 points, all in a day's work. I decided to hop into Edgefield Dungeon to get a Slayer task from Vanica. I received 10 points for getting a task from him, and another 10 points for receiving a Slayer task in general. Then I noticed I needed to armour up. 20 was my defence level, so Mithril was my target. I got to mining iron and received 50 points for mining 50 iron ore total. This took my points over the required amount. For the option to choose another relic, I went with Fairy's Flight as I felt like it was the right choice, and still does. And then I used it to take me to Edgeville for 10 points. Mining coal for steel ingots, I got 50 points for my first level 40. Smithing my first 150 arrow tips completed a task and awarded me 10 points. Then another 10 points for fletching my first 150 iron arrows. 50 points received for smithing my first steel bar. I smithed some steel armour and decided to pickpocket a steel pickaxe off a ham follower. This took longer than I really wanted, with several knockings out and a need to re-enter the hideout or break out of the jail. I got some herbs, gem, coal, and other useful things, and a fair few thieving levels.
It happened again. Another unknown 10 points accumulated. I'll take them though.
All topped off with cleaning some qualm for 10 points. Upon going back to the coal mining fun, I completed a task as I'm using a steel pickaxe. 10 points. I mined for a good hour. For those wanting to know what a good hour is, it's well over a real hour. But sure enough, level 50 arrived in mining, and that was another 50 points awarded for the hardship.
After the coal mining, I did some mithril mining and smelted mithril bars. I made a mithril helm and schmitter, and for equipping the mithril weapon, I was awarded 10 points. 3 days in, and I felt progress was going well. I took myself off to completing my Slayer task, in the process achieving a total level of 500. 10 points. In the process of completing the Slayer task of killing Minotaurs in the Stronghold of Security, I made my way down to the 4th level, running past them strong monsters and collecting my fancy boots. 10 points. I saw a task to enter Xanaris, so I did with a fairy ring. 10 points. Then I headed to the pointy stick shop in Varrock and equipped my new sword. This adamant sword got me 50 additional points. I put this sword to good use and fought dark wizards for a water talisman drop. Hurrah! A water talisman. I headed to the water altar to create 50 runes. Objective complete, 10 points. You would never guess I missed another 10 points. I saw a task to pickpocket a Varrock guard. So I did. 50 points. Then a second task was complete. Pickpocket a guard. 50 points. Double whammy, baby. The next task was to enter the Cook's Guild, but you need a chef hat to enter. Goblin Slayer is my new title, but I got the hat and entered. 50 points. Turns out there's a task to do 30 laps on the Draenor Agility course. Before I finished the 30, I received 10 points for obtaining a Mark of Grace, then 50 points for finishing it. I decided to chop some logs. As this was the first time using my steel axe, I was awarded 10 points. I then asked my fellow log cutters where I could obtain a mithril axe from, and was pointed in the way of the Enchanted Valley. These tree spirits are tough. I used superhuman strength and improved reflexes in combat with them for 10 points. I noticed that people wielding fire staffs was not taking any damage. In retrospect, they were just safe spotting them. I'll come back here later. I got another Slayer task to take down some hill giants. That got my combat level to 50. I received 50 points. I brought a Harpy book lantern and equipped it for 50 task points. Remembered to light the thing for it to work and went on the battle for a fire staff. It was a long grind. I ran out of jacket potatoes. I ate a pineapple to give me 10 points. The sandwich lady arrived with some luck in her pocket. And voila, a fire staff. And here is where I called it a day. A day of quests. First up was Gertrude's cat. I was in need of a sardine, which to get you need a fishing rod and bait. So I unlocked my third area, Kandarin, as Catherby is one of my favourite places to fish, and I can get a rod there. I caught a fish and seasoned it, fed the cat and gave it milk, found a kitten and returned to Gertrude to be awarded quest complete and 10 points, and also a kitten. Next quest was Romeo and Juliet. A strange one. I saw a priest which told me to make a potion that would make Juliet look dead. In the process, I restored my prayer points at the altar, received 10 points, and finished the quest for another 10 points. I took myself to Draenor Village to complete Vampire Slayer. Unfortunately, my internet dropped out just as I staked the vampire, but I completed it and was awarded 10 points. I finished my day spinning flax into bowstring to get my crafting level up to 60 to get ready for the Yew birdhouses. The following day, I equipped an elemental staff for 10 points. I headed to the wizard's tower to defeat the lesser demon. I received 10 points. I also received an additional 50 points for defeating the lesser demon in general. I made my way to the enchanted wood. I got a mithril axe. I got an adamant axe. I'm going to come back when I've got more runes, as I'm going to get a rune axe. I got a total level of 750 and rewarded 50 points. I defeated a moss giant for 10 points. I need a higher range level, as there's no safe spot here. To finish off, I cooked my level to 60, awarding me 100 points. As this was my first, I brought a house, awarding me 10 points. And then spent the last of my GPs on planks, awarding me a further 10 points. I made my way to my new home, awarding me 10 extra points. I built a chair, and this is where you join me 7 days later. In an empty shell of a house, with only a chair to my name. After 7 days of casually playing, my league's rank is in the 115,000s, and with many weeks to left to improve on this. But this is just week 1. Come join me next week to see how I've progressed.